بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. In our second subject of the Islamic belief series, we'll be talking about the belief in the angels. We already previously discussed the subject of belief in Allah. Now before we go into the subject of belief in the angels, we must mention that the word Iman actually means that you have complete 100% faith in whatever is mentioned in your Islamic belief. So when we say belief in Allah, we have Iman that is completely established and firm in our hearts that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exists. And then we go into those three categories that we mentioned in the last subject. As for the subject of the angels, again, the same thing that we mentioned, all of the points that we mentioned is in regards to belief in the angels. We establish the belief in the angels, that we have firm faith in their existence. We don't deny them. We don't think they're metaphorical. We don't think that there's something imaginary. Rather, they are real, and we have truthful faith and firm belief in this. This is not something that we just think it's just like it's unreal. It's actually real, and we actually affirm it in the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described to us. Now, in regards to the angels, the first thing we must mention regarding the subject of the angels is that they are slaves of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are not anything with due to worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They have no rights to worship. Some of the beliefs of the deviated groups and the deviated religions mention that the angels are worshipped besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, alongside Allah. This is incorrect, and we mentioned before that nothing deserves to be worshipped but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is the first thing we mention about the angels, that they are slaves of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they do what Allah says, and they do as they are ordered. يَفْعَلُونَ مَا يُؤْمَرُونَ, as Allah says in the Quran. They do that which they are commanded. So we know that the angels are slaves of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but they are not, they are unique in the sense that they worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directly, and they obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and whatever He commands. So if an angel is ordered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they will not disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in any way. The second thing that we mentioned alongside the angels about their characteristics is that they are made from light. So we mentioned firstly that they are alongside the fact that they are obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala completely, they are also made from light, as the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that in the hadith. So the Prophet ﷺ described the angels, and he described them being created from light. خُلِقَ مِن نُور. They are made from night. So alongside the angels being created from light, they also have the ability to take the shape of human beings. And this is mentioned in the famous hadith Jibreel, where the Prophet ﷺ was asked by a man who came before him and asked him about Islam and Iman and the signs of the hour. And then afterwards, when he left, the Prophet ﷺ said that was Jibreel, يُعَلِّمُكُمْ دِينَكُمْ. He came to teach you your religion. So this is the question he asked, was to teach the companions that were there about the religion of Al-Islam and the main parts of it. And that hadith is actually used as evidence, one of the evidences to establish our Islamic belief, where we get our Islamic belief from. We didn't actually mention this in the earlier lesson, but we must mention that the Islamic belief is taken from the Quran and the Sunnah, which we know already. We mentioned this, that anything we mention regards to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the angels, the books, the messengers, the last day, and Al-Qadr, all of them are taken from the Quran and Sunnah. The authentic Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, that which is proven to be from the Prophet ﷺ, and his words and statements from the Sahih narrations about him, ﷺ, we take from there the opinions and narrations about the matters of belief. We don't make it up. And the hadith of Jibreel is very famous. It's mentioned where it describes the pillars of Iman in detail. And we ask people to refer to that. It's found in many books of hadith. Collections like Riyadh al-Salihin and Imam an-Nawawi's 40 hadith, and also Sahih Bukhari and Muslim. The hadiths are present, inshallah ta'ala. So anyway, moving on from the discussion about the angels, we mentioned that the angels are made from light, and they can take the form of human beings at times. And also we have been described in the hadith that the angels also have wings, and this has been described to us also in the Quran. Now moving on from the description of the angels, we also have the names of the angels as well. We have names of some angels. We have the name of Jibreel, we have the name of Mikael, Israfil, And Israfil, we know that is the one who is in charge with blowing the trumpet to when the day of judgment will begin. Inshallah, we'll discuss this later on when it comes to the issue of the last day. We will inshallah mention some of this. But he's entrusted with this responsibility of blowing the trumpet. And Israfil, we mentioned Israfil. We also mentioned the angel of death, the one responsible for taking the souls of the people at the time of death, angel of death. We also have the keeper of hellfire, Malik. He's in charge of, entrusted with the responsibility of the gatekeeper of hell. We also have other angels like Munkar and Nakir, who will be the questioning in the grave. A big part of our religion, where we believe in the punishment of the grave as well, and the questioning in the grave also. This is part of our religion, to accept this, and the journey of the soul in the afterlife when it starts on this journey after death. And the angels that will question will be Munkar and Nakir, the two angels. After this, we have Kiram and Katibin also, the angels that are scribes, writing down the good and the bad of the believer, and they contain all the deeds that the believer is doing. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make our deeds heavy on the scale of Yawm al-Qiyamah with good deeds, and the angels allow us to do actions that are written in the good side and the noble actions that we do. We ask Allah for this. There also is other angels mentioned that are mentioned to us, the ones that hold the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have also been informed of this. And there are others, and many numerous others, as mentioned in the hadith of Prophet ﷺ, that when he was on Isra wal Miraj, he went up to the heavens, al-Mi'raj, and he went to paradise, and he was able to see all the things that were there. He was able to see Al-Bayt al-Ma'mur, and he said that Al-Bayt al-Ma'mur is a house or a place in Jannah where the angels visit and pray inside of it. And he said that every single day 70,000 angels visit and never come back. And then the next day another 70,000, a different group come, and they also do. Also, it's mentioned in the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ about the angels that will bring hellfire on the day of judgment, bring forth the hellfire, and they will be carrying it with chains, and a large number of angels will be carrying, each chain will be carried by the angels, and there will be a large number of them, and those angels were not names given to us. So there are other angels that are there that have been given to us the names. Now, what is required from the believer is to love the angels, to love them and not have any negativity towards them. Man kana aduwwan lillahi wa malaikatihi. Allah says in the Quran, whoever is an enemy to the angels. This is again an idea that we should love them, have love for them as they pray for the believers. And the angels love which Allah loves, and they hate which Allah hates. We have many narrations about the angels that they ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala about noble gatherings. And it's mentioned also that that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions to the angels about certain gatherings also, and it's mentioned to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by the angels. And all of this is showing you that the angels love that which is good, and the angels also protect the believers. There's many things that the angels also have responsibility. They also protect the believers. So this is another thing that we know about in the narrations and also in the Quran, that they protect the believers from any harm. So this is just a brief summary on the belief of the angels. We are required to believe in them. We are required to believe in those that are mentioned by name. We are required to believe in their characteristics, and we are also required to believe in them as noble slaves of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that obey Him and don't reject, as this is mentioned also in the Quran. So it's required upon us to believe in this in totality. We're not to add to it, we're not to change to it. We are only supposed to believe in that which is authentically narrated by the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ and by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran. We ask Allah to make this a beneficial reminder for all those that are listening. And this is the end of the belief in the angels. Barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.